Golden Years Wisdom presents. You are not done, the power of aging with purpose. Have you ever wondered why some people in their 70s are still running marathons, while others in their 60s are already confined to bed? Why is it that an 80-year-old grandmother can still teach children with eyes full of life, while a 65-year-old grandfather seems to have already given up? The answer isn't genetics. It's not luck. It's not about money or status. The true difference lies in something more subtle, but far more powerful. Their mindset about age and life. Many people, once they cross the age of 60, begin to believe that their purpose is over. That it's time to simply wait for the end. They surrender to illness. They accept decline. They retreat into silence. But this way of thinking is a dangerous illusion. Yes, our bodies may grow older. But the spirit has no age limit. And yet, sadly, many unconsciously allow their own thoughts to shorten their lives. Not because their bodies fail them, but because their mindset silently tells them, "You are done." This is not only wrong. It's a silent killer of joy, of vitality, of years that could have been full of meaning. Because it's not illness that first takes away your will to live. It's your own mind. Your thoughts, when left unchecked, can quietly become your greatest enemy in the later chapters of life. And so today, we must talk honestly about 5 mistaken beliefs that steal away purpose in old age. These aren't just ideas. They are the silent, invisible forces that are killing the spirit of too many elders around the world. And it starts with one of the most dangerous thoughts of all. I am no longer useful. So many people over the age of 60 say this. Sometimes out loud, more often in their hearts. They feel like a burden to their families. They believe they are no longer needed in a world that moves so fast. And from that belief, the body starts to weaken, the spirit begins to fade. And life itself begins to feel smaller without anyone noticing. But listen closely. Feeling useless is not a truth. It is a false conclusion born from a tired, ungrateful mind. If you are still here, still breathing, it means you are still needed. Maybe as a life teacher to your children. Maybe as a source of comfort and wisdom for your grandchildren. Maybe simply as living proof that patience and perseverance are real. Look around you. How many families are lost because they lack someone wise enough to guide them? How many young people are collapsing under pressure because no elder stood up and said, "I've been through this storm, you can survive it too." To believe you're not useful anymore, just because you're not as strong as before, is to dishonor the life you've lived. You are not just an aging body. You are living history. You are a library of experience. You are a walking life lesson. Every wrinkle is a badge of resilience. Every gray hair is a crown of wisdom. Every slow step is proof that you've stood the test of time. So when the thought appears, "I am no longer useful," meet it head on. Say to yourself, loud and clear, "As long as I can smile, as long as I can love, as long as I can pray, I am still valuable. My purpose is not over. It has simply evolved." Modern society may focus too much on economic productivity, on strength, speed, and output. But it forgets about other forms of productivity. The productivity of spirit, of emotional presence, of wisdom earned through decades of living. A grandmother sitting on the front porch, telling stories to her grandchildren, isn't just reminiscing. She is building a bridge between generations. She is preserving family memory. She is providing inspiration no technology can replace. A grandfather teaching his grandson to fish in a quiet stream is doing more than passing down a hobby. He is teaching patience. He is sharing connection with nature. He is imparting values that no screen, no app, and no textbook can teach. Your usefulness in these golden years has little to do with how fast you move, and everything to do with how deeply you love, how clearly you guide, and how consistently you show up for those who need your presence. In this noisy digital age, many young people are overwhelmed. They have endless access to information, but little access to wisdom. And that is where you come in. You are the filter that helps them see what matters. You are the compass when they are lost in distractions. You are the lighthouse in a storm of constant change. You are the living archive of knowledge, courage, and grace. So don't ever say you are not needed. Don't ever think you've become irrelevant. If anything, your presence is more precious now than ever. You are the elder. You are the memory keeper. You are the silent teacher this world has forgotten how to honor. Because true leadership isn't loud. True strength isn't always physical. And true usefulness isn't measured in profit or productivity, but in the quiet, steady impact you have on those who walk behind you. So let this be a reminder. Not just to you, but to the world around you. You are not done. You are not fading. You are becoming more powerful, in ways that only time can reveal. The second silent thought that destroys aging with dignity. It's too late for me to change. This belief is just as dangerous, and just as untrue, as the thought, I'm no longer useful. Many people over 60 quietly accept the idea that whatever life they've lived is the only life they'll ever have. That their mistakes cannot be corrected. That their dreams are now too distant. That new habits, new passions, or new beginnings are out of reach. But let us speak this truth loudly. As long as you are breathing, change is possible. Growth is still within your grasp. Your story is still being written. Time is not your enemy. Regret is. We've been conditioned to think that transformation belongs to the young. But in reality, some of the most powerful reinventions happen later in life. A 70-year-old can still learn to paint. An 80-year-old can still write a book. A 65-year-old can still build a new relationship. A 60-year-old can still heal from childhood pain and walk into peace. Your brain can still grow. Your soul can still evolve. Your heart can still open. And the most beautiful part? When elders change, their change becomes medicine for others. When you forgive, you teach others that healing is possible. When you dream again, you give permission for others to start dreaming too. When you rise after years of silence, pain, or shame, you become a walking testimony that it is never too late. Change doesn't always mean big, dramatic shifts. Sometimes, change means simply choosing to see life through a new lens. Letting go of bitterness. Speaking words of kindness more often. Making peace with your past. Laughing again, really laughing. Saying yes to life, even when it feels uncertain. Don't believe the lie that says, people don't change at this age. People can change. And they do. In fact, the ones who've lived the longest are often the most prepared, because they've seen how fleeting time is, and how precious every day becomes. Do you want to know the real tragedy? It's not growing old. It's growing old without ever realizing that you had the power to evolve. So let this be your moment. Not to regret what could have been, but to ask, what could still be? Could you finally express yourself? Could you rekindle something you gave up long ago? Could you forgive someone, maybe even yourself? Could you become softer, stronger, wiser, freer? Because age is not the closing of the soul. It is the opening of the soul. It is when the noise falls away, and the truth of who you are begins to shine. This is not the end. This is the awakening. Let go of the second silent killer. It's too late for me to change. Because the truth is, some of the most beautiful chapters are still waiting to be written. And if you feel even the smallest fire inside you, no matter how quiet, no matter how small, don't ignore it. It's your future calling. It's your second wind. It's your golden season. Finally beginning. If this message inspires you or reminds you of someone you love, please share it. Subscribe to Golden Years Wisdom. Hit that like button. And send this video to anyone who still has life left to live. Because change has no age limit. And purpose never expires. The final thought that robs peace in old age. My best days are behind me. It may sound innocent, even poetic. But this quiet resignation is one of the most damaging beliefs that haunts older hearts. It creates a subtle kind of grief. The belief that what was once meaningful, vibrant, and joyful is no longer possible. You hear it in phrases like, I used to be someone important. I had dreams, but that was a long time ago. Those were the golden years, now I'm just waiting. But here's the truth. The past may be beautiful, but it is not the only place beauty lives. The best days are not behind you. They are inside you. The idea that life only holds value when we're strong, productive, or admired is a myth built by a world obsessed with speed and youth. But real life, true, meaningful life, grows deeper with time. There is a kind of peace you can only feel after losing and learning. There is a kind of wisdom that only comes after failing and forgiving. There is a kind of joy that is quieter, but richer, like a fire that glows long into the night. No, you may not run as fast. But you understand patience. You may not lift as much. But you carry 1,000 silent victories in your heart. You may not impress the world. But you have become someone who knows. And that kind of knowing is rare, sacred, and needed. The idea that everything good is already over is not only false. It dishonors everything life still wants to give you. Because you are still here. Still breathing. Still capable of laughter, tenderness, insight, renewal. Still able to write a final chapter that brings peace to your soul. And light to those who follow behind you. So instead of mourning what's past, celebrate it. Then gently turn your face to what is still possible. Maybe today is the day you finally say the words you've been holding in. Maybe today you choose to forgive and sleep better tonight. Maybe today you start something small. A garden, a letter, a new way of thinking. You see, aging isn't the end of the story. It is the distilling of the story. The moment you begin to see with clarity what really matters. In the end, the greatest measure of a life isn't in how high you climbed, but in how deeply you lived, how kindly you loved, how freely you let go. And perhaps the true best days are not measured in years at all, but in peace, presence, and wisdom. So let go of the final lie. My best days are behind me. Because the truth is, some of your most meaningful days may be just ahead, quieter, perhaps, but more honest, more you. And that kind of life is golden. If this message resonated with you, or reminded you of someone who needs to hear it, please help us spread this wisdom. Subscribe to Golden Years Wisdom. Leave a like. And share this with someone who still carries a beating heart and a story worth finishing. Because no matter the age, Every soul deserves to walk their final chapters with dignity, clarity, and peace. Thank you for walking this journey with us.